guys, my name is Mightman. Welcome back to yet another weapon review video. We are going to be looking at the AK-47. Now, this is another X weapon that came out in 2019. I'm pretty sure it was. So this is a 7.5mm rifle or a 12.7, depending on what kind of conversion you go for. I would recommend 12.7. 100 round capacity with a 2.25 second reload speed, with a 23% degree firing cone, with a 0.5 critical chance, so let's just kind of round that down to an absolute 0. You need to be level 25 to equip this. You must have 50 strength and 120 machine gun skill to master, and as I've said throughout the course of these reviews, Clayton, please fix, you need to be level 50 to craft and be able to craft this. Now this seems to be quite a fundamentally decent AK for, well, I say AK, but assault rifle for what it is. So it does have a piercing effect up to 60, 20 and 20, or you do the alternative to get the 100% attack there. It has 50% PvE, so this is usable across the board, and there it does shoot about 6 shots per second with a buck spread of 9 degrees. With the kind of build up here, damage wise it can totals to 48, or you can try to get the critical for 120. I think we should just kind of have a look at this as it is. So safe to say this is going to be pretty much decent in terms of being usability, so I think we should just go ahead and see how this goes. That being in mind, we do actually have a boss hive of 2 down, 1 right, so we'll go grab that. Okay, so we're now here, so just gotta clap it. I'm going to change the damage slip here so we get the base form and we'll see the actual true potential of it as per the usual kind of structure of this. Now I am actually quite excited to see this because with shooting it come down here, it does feel quite decent. So let's, oh, not get hit. Let's just get a bit of a, in fact, we can just shoot, hold on. We're 24, we're doing the exact damage as we should be because how this matches up. So let's just see how this cat pairs up against the horde here. And already I can actually see this being quite a massive improvement from the Mannberg. The reason being is because obviously the Mannberg does have a lot of damage to it for the kind of shots you're doing. However, the alternative for it is the fact this is shooting twice in a row. So every per bullet you shoot 2, and it is working out fairly well for what it is. Obviously with the cap base damage I'm doing here, it's not amazing, and obviously having that cap 50% PvE arm penetration death roll might not work that well, but fundamentally it is working around the bunker. I would say this is fairly possible for at a low car level. If you are going to grab a somewhat decent weapon that will do you long term, this may suffice, but it really depends on how you want to use it. Now you will be noticing I am critting every now and again. It's kind of like the old minigun critical pattern, I think, if not along those lines. I'm actually seeing this being decent. I'm doing 120 for that, so that's quite good. So let's just kind of pick things up, and we will actually just grab the implants on, just so we can actually do something with them at the same time. So we've got the green implants on, so let's just start blasting. Got a lot more damage. Was he not on the right there? Piercing effect is doing a bit of wonder there for the horde itself. Now, fundamentally, with this potential of it, this might still struggle a little bit in death roll due to the lack of damage there is, but with the PvE aspect of the armor penetration again, this will be fine Raven Ridge. Like, the base form of it will hold up somewhat, maybe not to like the best degree, but it will still hold up. There is definitely better ones you could use compared to this from an event perspective, but I would say, well, here we go. I would say this is really not an issue. This is a non-issue for that kind of aspect. If I was to say this needed some sort of buff, I would probably say the damage is the only thing it really needs. The fact that it has armor penetration makes it almost the same, if not a little bit better than the Wraith Cannon, maybe? without the unlimited ammo in terms of the but they'll be on par for Rukan in terms of armor penetration, so that's not exactly the biggest feat, but at least it's something for a free-to-play weapon. The ammo used is fairly cheap as well, apart from the 72, that can be somewhat expensive overall, but again that's not an ammo you use late game anyway, because you'll be converting these. Yeah, I have to say, I'm actually quite fond of this. This is a decent weapon to use. In terms of obviously the rating wise, on its base kind of form in that sense, I would probably give it probably think now, because that's a more of a tricky question, because I am seeing some fundamental flaws with it. Without any damage boost, this personally just feels as if it lacks a little bit, and I'm not the type of person to say, oh, Magstorm is the best. I just feel as if this needs a little bit of buffing in damage department to make it more viable as a weapon overall. The rate of fire is still pretty decent. I've lost my short titans. The fact that you should do shoot 2 bullets at one time, it makes up for quite a lot of VCAP impact this has, and obviously it does have a piercing effect that I'm not particularly fond of. Don't really care about it unless it's like 100% like the like the Magstorm was before the nerf. Oh well, before the initial day. I would say, yeah, this would get about a 4.5 rating at its base form, maybe a 6.5 at its full. Like again, this isn't the best assault rifle in the game. There is others that could be classed, but this does have a fundamental aspect of being useful in hard situations. Like right now, like obviously I'm dealing with this sword as is. If I take the implants off and try to deal with these guys, it would just be kind of the same kind of scenario as well. So let's just do exactly that before we end this. So still got the piercing, so it is a lot slower. But look at that damage I'm doing, because there's 2 bullets being shot, so that does double the pierce. Obviously I'm doing 4 damage going through the most of it, but it is fundamentally just a lot better than other rifles that you could be using. If I turn on the alternative fire, it is still doing the same kind of damage overall. Yeah, I would say if you're going to go for anything, this could help with bosses. It could help with dealing hordes in around the bunker. Death row, it can be a viable option. Wouldn't be say it's one I would recommend. And Raven Ridge, this would work as well. Again, it's not one I would recommend to use there either. It's just one of those ones. It could fundamentally be better in the bunker. And honestly, that's not a bad thing. Bunker is mainly endgame anyway for most players who don't want to do the travel, and this is acceptable in that kind of practice. But guys, thank you very much for watching. Let me know what you guys think about this. Would you use the XAK-47? Is it any good for yourself? Or do you have one that's just sitting in the storage that you think, hey, maybe I'll give it a try, see if this guy is actually correct with his review. But yeah, thank you very much guys for watching, hope you enjoyed this. We've got one more after this, which is the X Hammer, and that's us done for the X series. Roll on to the Easter event.